1 o'clock. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Right. Our Father, we just thank you again for another day to praise you and help us to honor you in our decisions and guide us. Help us be wise in your eyes and be helpful to the decision in this kind of decision.
Thank you, Mr. Pollock. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's a go time, I guess. We are one person short, but he'll be here in just a matter of minutes. So the first thing we have on our agenda is county personnel or public comment. Is there any? Hello. I don't see any, but I'll say it again. If you've got something to say and we are here, we'll make time for you. So, whoa, hey, how are you?
I just came from a meeting with the attorney and the sheriff,
So that's no problem. We're glad to see you. Glad you're doing all that stuff. You're putting in a lot of time. I appreciate that.
I think
I know you
everybody's putting in a lot of time, so.
are. Well, I tried to compliment you and you wouldn't let it happen. So everybody's doing a wonderful job. It just happened you were doing it when the meeting started. So thank you. Okay, so there's no county personnel or public comment. We'll roll on through. The first thing is the minutes from the 30th. Are there any additions, corrections, or comments to the minutes as presented? You don't have any? I don't have any.
I did not have any.
Okay. Well, if there's no,
I move it, approve the minutes for 1/30/2026.
okay, I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carried. Good job. All right. Austin's here. We've seen him. So what else do we have? Anything?
Yeah, speak. Fixed assets and did this week, I have one. And then the township annual reports. And I'll probably just load it in the file separately, so. I'll just go through the whole thing. I
Okay.
haven't seen plans and so. Hopefully they come in this week.
Do they know that they're still needed or? Okay,
You want us to call?
I'll check with you.
Okay.
Right on the top of my head, I can work on it.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, that'd be fine. If I get a message from you, I'll make a phone call. Anyone have anything else? We're just gonna wait for Austin here. I had some stuff on the list. Do you have a list? I went first last time. I need to.
yeah, I could update you as to what we're doing, but I think you guys know what we're doing. We're meeting with the sheriff regarding an inmate policy for the hospital, the local hospital here. Trying to get something worked out to where we can make sure that when there is an inmate that needs clearance to come back, that that's done and the hospital signs off on it. So the sheriff and the attorney are drafting up a release form that they both agree on. That's being done right now. Okay, so that was the one thing. I'm also been contacting the fire chiefs one by one and trying to hopefully come to an agreement on our burn ban and the way the current burn ban takes place.
Okay.
The county currently has a ban, and there was a resolution done some time ago. Getting a copy of that, but basically that's one of the things that needs some attention before burn season.
Okay.
So we're working on that.
be the most recent one that was.
Yes, yeah,
That.
those two things. And then,
So the last meeting, Richard kind of like decided here to let you take the reins on that. I'm contacting the fire chief.
Mhm.
And that all, is that still okay?
yeah,
All right.
yeah, we've already started, so.
Okay.
Anyways. I think we can come to some sort of resolution, make everybody seem like we're on the same team here.
Wow.
There's a lot of different opinions,
Yes.
as you can imagine.
Well, the fires are going. I noticed over the weekend, there's people burning on brush pile.
Sure.
It's coming. So good for, glad you're on or in front of it. Anything else?
That's it right now.
Okay. Vice Mayor.
Anything to add?
It'll be a slow day here. Burn permit I had on my list, the tax sale thing, did we extend an invitation to Kevin to get on the agenda maybe next week? Information? Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll look at that and we'd like to I'd like to have him come in so we can talk to him. Answer some questions. I'd love to know why why they're different, I guess, the county setup versus this new setup. And it'd be good to figure that out. So I'll check that off. The other one I had was the emergency management position. That is February 13th when Dawn's gonna resign. Don't know if we had any more updates on that.
I think the only other update is that if you saw, obviously, Nikki included, there was a resume from another person that was interested. So, at the last meeting, we had discussed that we would do an executive session, do an interview. So,
I think we need to advertise, they part-time, full-time employee, to open it up, so it'll be about that. I just need to go to the real part of mine.
so part of this whole procedure is understanding better what that person is going to do, right? Yeah, so one of the reasons I wanted to talk to the individual was in here the other day is he seems to have kind of an outline of what he believes that job includes, and that's why I wanted to get him in whenever we can and listen to what he thinks, since he's been working on this with other agencies, and just kind of get myself up to pace a little bit more, because it's kind of a job that, depending on who you talk to, it seems like everybody has a different opinion on what that job should be. So is there a way we can talk to him? And get information? Does it have to be an executive session, or can we call him in?
Interviews when we get a executive session down, we can interview someone before, but yeah.
Okay,
Both I know this time.
what I'm getting at is, an interview is more along the lines of talking to him and deciding if we want to hire him. Having him come in and speak as to what he believes that job is, doesn't necessarily have to be an interview. Is that correct?
All right, so we open meeting at the top.
Okay, so could we set that up for this Thursday? With our workshop session and have him come in?
Sure.
Is that okay with you guys?
Works for me.
Okay.
So just for fun, emergency management here is governed by statute, KSA 48-929. So you're familiar with that. I would assume.
Yeah, I've already actually looked that up and read it. And
Right.
so now my thing is I want to hear somebody else
Okay.
that's been doing it and get their opinion as to what we do or don't do. And as we go forward and hire a person in this position, I think it's a time to basically make sure that we understand what those duties are and what's expected of them.
All right. Okay, so right now, you're gonna ask him back on Thursday?
Yeah, if that's acceptable to you guys,
I know.
Nikki, is that okay with you? Okay.
All right. Takes care of that.
So I also visited the Fairview location this weekend and looked at our fuel storage over there to try to get a better understanding of what we're doing. So the Fairview location and the Horton location are the two locations that do not have kiosks. You guys are aware of that or not? Yeah, kiosks are obviously very expensive, but I thought that we should at least take a look at how we've been. I think at the very least, we need to provide cameras out there at those locations, because there's always a chance for, especially right now, there's a chance for people that may have other motives on that, so that was my first attempt to understand how we're doing it right now. So I'm gonna drive to Horton and talk to Jerry about his down there and see if there's recommendations.
So by there yesterday and they was sick of the door on the shelf. He talked about that way in the beginning, so I was expected to be there.
Okay. Well. Anything else?
Got your list out there. I had some questions about the Northeast Kansas environmental services. Is that a state mandate or is that a federal mandate that we have that service?
Cheat sheet doesn't have anything on it, but to the best of my recollection, Bill, it is a state
Well, I
mandate.
think that's what it was.
And that actually that group, the way it's designed is it can spread their cost for multiple counties on one
Right.
employee.
I was just kind of wondering what the statute said about that, or
Yeah, I don't see it listed here. I'd have to dig it up. So, but
I kind of forgot to look at legislation. Kind of all kinds of ones.
All right, well, then I guess if we've got a little time, I would make a motion. I'd like to go into executive session. I'll just explain it. I want to talk about non-elected personnel, duties, and compensation. Just to let you know, so I would make a motion to go in executive session with 3 commissioners and the clerk present for 10 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel, pay and duty. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. We'll be back at 1, 1 and 2, basically. Okay, I need to amend my executive session motion to include our county counselor. So I move we go into executive session for 10 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel, duties and pay with the 3 commissioners, county counselor and the county clerk present. Is there a second?
I'll second
It's
it.
been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried now. Now we'll be back about 1:23. You want to put that on your list? Okay.
Good.
All right, we're out of it. Excuse me, we're out of executive session, back into regular session, and there was no binding action taken. Although we did work in there, I want to clear that up. It always says no action taken. We are doing things in executive, so. Okay, Austin, do you have some time? We've got basically 6 minutes before we talk about B and G consultants. And do you have any updates for us? You wanna?
Yeah, I one to do with top speed and I'm thinking I do want to, live at the bridge. I am trying to get, plenty of daylight to, look at the, bridge that we're trying to do, because I'm meeting with people on Thursday. The bridge that we're trying to play.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to drive out there, it's awesome, take some photos. And then also we're just having the sheriff wants the thing working on release waiver document that allows people to be released out of the jail or from the hospital if they're intoxicated or they're arrested or medical issues. We're working on a one pager to go with the policy that we put out, the draft policy. On the law enforcement side. There's other stuff that's going on. I've been saying I owe you I owe you a funding document, for the other one. And I'm going on that. Other than that, I'm trying to make sure I put in 6 minutes, but I'm gonna try to go get I want to get the Portland Bridge,
Okay.
and get some measurements.
One of my years and measurements, we did all that, so, yeah.
She has a folder in her office.
Oh, you got a
all
folder?
the bridges.
Oh, this is great, I think the bridge that's got the tension rods that fell out.
It's the one up off of Red Line.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if I get some photos and measurements, I'm actually meeting with some people that may be able to provide a less expensive alternative for collection technology later this week.
Okay.
So if I could get those measurements.
Yeah.
In the photos, I still need to go look at the location of it, to figure out where it's at.
It's easy to find.
Oh, good, all right, that's good. But I know, I just had a great meeting, share it, figure out the very productive meeting that last week, as well. And, we'll wait to figure out what that looks like next step. Sure, I know, Richard, I know I'm busy, so I really love it.
So I just need to make sure that. I know that after we met with them, well, there were specific things that their insurance needed. Can you get with Nikki and explain her exactly what they are going to need? Because that's gonna take her a while to get that information. It's not gonna be something that's gonna be just.
And then, yeah, it's basically, and we probably can't do it, we can't do this on a shuttle. But we are, we're very funny to do it. On insurance, but we thought. We can't do because without employee rating or food guide. Bring that into, before we can go out and shop for a want back with the policy. We need our. That's what Watford should be. Or we should take it. If we can have Watford give us an LTE for reading that, that's also.
How current does it need to be?
But they need to give us, they're gonna give us a snapshot of what interest savings.
So that stuff we had from last summer, it's not doing that.
We can start with that. One thing with that. They need to really just pull the stuff from last time. I mean, they can give a snapshot.
Is that something you have, Nikki, or like, you know? My concern is that there's gonna be things that, if it's not exact, we're gonna grab stuff and we're gonna say, no, we need more, so there's no way that we can kind of step in and make sure that we do this once.
Yeah, maybe what I'll do with this.
Well, would it make sense? Does it make sense to have Austin? Can he be in contact with Watco? And talk to them directly? Yeah, we might, I've got a card, so I don't know.
We're gonna do it, you gonna be.
So in the email that I received, it was Joe and Tom, and he basically said. He listed what he thought.
Yeah.
Is that when you can pull up?
Okay, all right. Well, is there any update on the road, closure or possible closure out north and west of town with that?
That's the one.
Okay. And I think I keep a running list here and I just keep checking things off. So if they don't have a check mark, I ask you about it. So that's wonderful.
So we have Tammy that's here. Tammy, what do you have to add on the meeting closure? I think you were waiting for some specific details before you sent a letter. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, just
Okay.
Yeah, there was the last was. On the front end. I'm gonna try to stay for. The. Now I'll for that it was.
All right. Okay, wonderful. 1:30. Come on up, we only got two chairs.
Now, did you big mouth?
thank you.
I'm ready.
It's almost like you read my mind.
Almost like that.
Richard? Yes, sir.
Brady Hetzker.
Brady, nice to meet you. We called Tammy this morning and asked if she had capability to print it up and think very well.
All right. So the call by KDOT is out for their local bridge funding programs. There's two programs, what's called Health System Program. It is limited to bridges on your non-major collector routes. We refer to them as major collectors or FAS routes. But it would be pretty much all your OS bridges, the circles on the maps. And it is limited to structures that are in poor condition. I don't know if you looked at bridge inspections much, but different components of the bridge, deck, superstructure, substructure, channel, and culverts with a separate rating. Essentially it's a 1 to 9 rating. You don't use 9s or 1 bridge is closed. So essentially like you get 8, 7 and 8 being good condition, 5 and 6 being fair condition, 4 and down being poor condition. Then the other program, and so I had marked the bridges that had a poor condition rating. But I think there. So those would be the ones that would be eligible for the off system program. That program is 100% funding from KDOT for construction and inspection. So the county is responsible for engineering, moving utilities, purchasing right of way, those kind of preliminary things. I mean, the projects are advertised in that KDOT and all the construction and inspection. The other program is the KLVIP, Kansas Local Bridge Improvement Program. It's open to a lot more structures, anything that's load posted. Any bridge that's on your bridge inventory in the county, that's considered later. But poor condition or not, you know, it can qualify for load posting, poor geometry, and that sort of thing. Now they are competitively scored and ranked against all the other applicants. So obviously the poor condition other, you know, geometrics with posting and things, the better opportunity to like with it. That they usually get around 160 to 200 applications for the two programs, 80 to 100 apiece, and an award 15 to 20 per program, you know, so it's 15, 20% of the applications.
It'll work.
It's not a just put it in and get it kind of situation. A lot of times it's apply several years in a row. Or you get a project, but so the ones that are open now will be for projects that would be bidding in like 28, 29. There is a year and a half or so, year and a half project development timeline. So yeah, we're looking at applying by February 20th year, finding out probably midsummer. If you get selected for a project, and then be something you know have incur your expenses later on. Setting possibly get started. So it's I've actually got a project and stuff, but the KLVIP program, there is a portion of construction costs that the county is responsible for based on the population density. I want to say you got just 10%. So that's like that bridge 51 down here on 170th that they're working on getting right away and stuff. That was a KLVIP project that they applied for the year before last, and it is 90% state fund, 10% in construction. Anyway, just wanted to be available to answer questions on that, and then typically I help folks out on making an application.
That was my next question. Is in the past, what was the procedure involved to do these applications? Is it you working with Tammy? Were you there in the last application process?
Yeah.
Usually get input from commissioners on what are priorities for you guys.
So are you the actual engineer or inspector that has gone out and looked at all these bridges, or is it somebody working with it?
I have over the years. So earlier in my career, I did a lot of years of doing your routine every other year bridge inspections. And I still participate some in some of your, what we did call fracture critical, your trusses. You got like 11 truss bridges that require a more detailed, they call hands-on inspection. We used to call them fracture critical bridges, but that was a scary term for VFHWA. So now they call them non-redundant steel tension member bridges.
Okay.
Same meaning, you know, steel members that aren't redundant. If one fractures, then that whole truss, whole bridge. The reason for the more thorough inspection on those type of bridges. So the last couple full countywide cycles have been some of that's been some reports for inspections.
And that inspection, is it complete now, or is it still ongoing?
So your 2026, it has been over the years in January. KDOT is transitioning to a new web-based inspection portal where we enter all inspection data. It's been shut down, and they're kind of giving a grace period since it's shut down for maintenance updates to this SNIDI requirements. If you put that SNDI acronym, that's federal updates to the bridge inspection standards. So anyway, for 26 years, we should be getting started when that opens back up here in mid-February. Okay. So you got delayed by a month or so because of the server system updates. So the data, I've got a 24 report here, the data I was looking at when I marked, you know, once we're report vision.
So we're working off the data, fast, we're not working from scope.
Correct. Yeah, it hasn't been correct.
So because I'm a new commissioner here and I don't have as much experience with these bridges as far as.
Yeah.
I've actually driven most of the bridges,
Yeah.
but I haven't been through this process where we get the most current report back. So the normal questions I'd ask is, I think we have about 193 bridges in Brown County, is that 197? And so you obviously on this report, there's 6 that are listed in poor condition.
Yeah.
Okay, so of all of our bridges, with the data that you have going off of the 2024, what is the most important bridges that we pay attention to first?
Well, so the poor condition, most of your bridges fall in, and it's true of most owners, in the fair category.
Mhm.
You know, the worst condition ones are the ones that are getting either closed because they're not safe anymore or replaced. So we can put them up there where they will carry modern ag equipment and roads and stuff. So that's one thing. I can look at the data. I can tell you which ones have the poorest condition or combination of data, load postings and different things that would compete the best for funds. But I don't have the perspective of what's the most critical to your constituents, you know. Sometimes folks will say, yeah, we know that bridge, you know, it's in really bad condition, but it doesn't really serve anybody, nobody's.
Sure.
Across it, it's kind of languishes until it has to.
And so, Bill, you were involved in a project in your area where you guys replaced a bridge. Is that the most current
The last
replacement that we've had in Bradley?
The last project, so we've got 2 ongoing where this number 51 down here on 170th was a KLVIP project from 2 years ago. And we got $1.1 million awarded for that, for the construction and inspection. And tied to that application was also $50,000 for the replacement of OS2, which was up here.
Mhm.
We've got plans for both of those developed and on the shelf, and we're working through getting the right easy to see this
Right,
right.
and OS3 is the one easement we keep talking.
The previous, that was 2 years ago. It would have probably been 4 years ago that we applied for 265 right off of, on 220th, right off of 75, just south of Fairview. And that was an off-system bridge, so it was 100% funded. Although at that time, I think prices really jumped and county ended up having some cost and but that was you know, KDOT let contractor built structure that we did the inspection on there, south of Fairview. But I won't say it's every other year, because like I said, you're competing against the other 104 counties making applications.
Mhm.
And typically we haven't seen one county get funded 2 years in a row just because of the state trying to spread the funds out. Although this last year I did see some counties that got funding when they had the year before, and I asked somebody to look project on there. And just pretend they lose some points in their ranking for having recently had a project, but if it's a bad enough condition, and has enough other things going forward, they can be awarded. But anyway, I mean, as long as I've been with DG since the high school in 2009, and we've fairly consistently done projects with KDOT funding across the county. Really a good opportunity, especially for bridges that are going to be a little more expensive, you know, to get.
So with your experience, you've been doing this since 2009. Is Brown County, the number of bridges that we have is not unique. You drive these other counties and I'm sure that depending on geographically the size, it's not like we have more bridges than others, but
Yeah.
do you feel that Brown County, the condition of our bridges is kind of what you see normally, that if I could use that word, or are we behind?
Probably in the middle of the range, yeah.
The middle of the range.
You go to some of the counties that we have offices in, that happen in Lawrence, or Riley County, or Douglas County, or
Counties
Disney
need more
County
money.
with more money.
Yeah.
They are doing more with their own budgets and not having so many bridges in poor condition.
Right.
That they just aren't as competitive on some company. But I think there's definitely some counties that have, if you pull the poor condition, you find more than 6.
Yeah.
But I'd say you kind of fall in the an average for
Okay.
size and population and stuff. But we can, you get way out west and the county might have 50, 30 people.
So do any of these bridges that you have aren't? That's our top six. But is there a ranked order in those top six?
I did not rank them as such. You could look at,
So the reason I ask and continue this is like, so this is my part of the world here. This 220 is on a dirt road.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's a wonderful bridge with metal sides on it.
yeah, it's one of those trusses that you have to have special inspection, more expensive inspection.
Okay.
Is that considered historic because of that?
Yes, they'd be on the Historical Society's radar.
Says
Um,
poor condition.
with the number you have. And my recollection on that one, 220,
Yeah.
and then 57 up here, which might be in Richard's district,
Yes.
is another truss that the steel truss itself, not in that bad a shape, but poor condition, is the substructure, the supports, your channels, get deeper every year. Wider vertical banks sloughing off.
So I bring that up, Brady, as
Yeah.
the rank anyway, because this would be such a low.
Mhm.
It's mud all,
Yeah.
and you can't get there.
Mhm. And 116 up here is the same way.
Familiar.
You could probably pull a picture of it. It's one that is real narrow, I think posted pretty low, real deep channel, has some concrete. Like. Wall or soil saver, you know, that holds it
Yeah.
underneath the bridge, so the stream bed upstream is 15 feet higher than the stream bed downstream, and that would be a more involved project to replace to be able to figure out what you do to stabilize that
So,
channel.
I mean, I mean, we're looking at trying to do some creative things with bridges. So this 220, very low traffic, it's in poor shape. I mean, it would be low on my list to replace, even though it's,
Mhm.
3 miles from where I live. But this 255, which not listed as poor, but you have it as 13 wide and 10 ton.
Yes,
Okay, now, that's not on your, I didn't see it on here. No, it's there, 10%. It's a 10%.
yes, it would, since it doesn't have a poor condition rating, it would be eligible for the 100% construction fund, would be the
I think it's just wood, isn't it?
It has a wood deck on it, might have steel beams underneath it. But
That one's always fascinating because I drive over that 2 or 3 times a year. I don't know,
Yeah.
it's not a big tube.
yeah, I don't know how much.
Can bridges like that be tubes? That would be,
Um, depends on the drainage area. You'd have to do a study, look at how much drainage is coming down that. In the past, where they got built. My previous boss, who was our department, did more of what I'm doing now, talking to you guys while I was doing more inspection and design. But I remember there was a project, I don't remember which bridge in Dillon County here, but the other thing before you were here, that the district, superintendent wanted to throw a pipe in it. You're like 10 foot tube, but it was, still not big enough for drainage area, and that problems with washing out. So I say that just to say that, 95% of the time, you might think, a tube would handle that, trickle through just fine when you get the big rain.
sure.
Washes the thing out and wads up your, $60,000 pipe down the creek somewhere. Then,
It sits below a pond and the drainage into that thing is mostly controlled with tile outlets now. I just wonder, what I'm saying is if you had a ranked list of what you thought would most likely qualify for money from the state, I'd love to see it because I would take my two in my district, these two, and say, those, even if they're pretty low on the list because of
Mhm.
traffic and in this one, I'd sure want to ask some questions about doing something as far as.
Yeah, alternative methods
Yes,
is what.
yes, this is wonderful, because this is a farm bridge, I mean, it's a mud road again, you don't go down that road unless you're in a combine or a tractor, and you're. Well, you know what I mean, but it's low volume, and
Yeah.
I would still scratch my, I sure didn't spend a bunch of money on that thing. But is there a way to, with the data you have in front of you, I mean, if you ranked them, does that make any sense to go 1 through 6, like Brady's list of?
yeah, so I know like 116 was the one that had poor deck and substructure rating, and is
We do it too. And all three of us.
Goes another break lane, doesn't it?
It does, she's got plenty to be doing, going, bridges, so.
Yeah.
Just after Lucas got on here about a year ago.
Because when I see this, there's two in each district, and it's like, in reality, it's the commissioners deciding what the order of importance is, really, is what it sounds like. Because you're describing bridges that are dirt roads, so obviously it's not a huge thing for you to get that right away. There could be a bridge in Bill's district that people are using all the time, and to me, that's what makes it important, is how many people need that bridge.
So
Whether it's in my district or not, we gotta figure out what
Sure.
bridges are.
other Richard Rose was talking about 22 and 23 on this east of town here.
Yeah.
You got them marked as historic.
Yep, they were, at least one of those, if not both, were on the state's. Not registered as a historic place, but their list of historic resources, I think.
So it's on
And I
a
can't-
historic register?
It's not
They're
registered,
not
but
registered.
they've
but it
got
is still-
a map
Okay.
of things that are on their radar. And for the life of me, I don't know why on those, because I think they're just like box, simple concrete box
Like box
structures.
culvert bridges?
Yeah, compared to like OS2 up here was a very unique style of bridge that they haven't built in a long time. There's not many left. That's why they,
So was I to read the circles marked historic and also bridges that were on the list to be replaced?
no, not necessarily those. I had just, I have this map on my computer, and when we ran into issues on OS2 and I found that map of their things that are on their radar, I marked all of them in the county.
So does that
So
mean
that-
everything that's marked historic, is that our inventory of historic structures? That's all we have to be about?
The other one on the
I
historic
would say-
registries too, right?
It was not on the historic register. But so every bridge that you apply for a permit through the Corps of Engineers to do any work on the structure, but specifically replacing, they coordinate. They're required by law to coordinate with at least 6 or 7 other federal agencies, EPA and wildlife and parks and historical society. And so the historical society gets a notice of every bridge that's, and they want, if it's older than 50 years, pictures of it. And they real quick kind of screen with something that there's not many of, that we're interested in looking further at. So I would say all of your trust bridges.
188 is on historical. register.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. The only one I think that is on the register as far as bridges is 188 over the Delaware there.
Yeah.
Which it is one that's always, it's been in poor condition for a long time. It's narrow, low coasted, one that takes about the most effort on the inspection.
Is that high traffic?
No, it's a dirt road. And
Um,
they had before I was on here, that they were trying to close it and it took 50,000 for it. Then, when the room gets full of people that weren't kept, they change their minds.
yeah,
I mean, cause it's kind of important. They drive their pickups across there and get to do the chores and stuff, but
I
they know it's not. You don't want to run any grain truck across this problem.
Oh, that looks fun. All right, yeah, that's a big one too.
it's a 70, 80 footer. So what I've seen the Historical Society allow at times has been what they call adaptive reuse, or taking that off that site, putting it in a park or something where people can enjoy it. But that's.
That's an awful big bridge to be doing. I mean, it can be done.
Yes, but yeah, that's cost.
So I had asked you, and then I asked you another question, I'm sorry. You started maybe 116? From your work?
That's one that I know has 2 4 condition ratings.
Okay,
Like I said, 57 up here and 220 are, it's just the substructure, the channel has worked.
so if you were going from worst
Yeah,
to best, and you started with 116, that's your
116.
worst,
yeah.
where do you jump off the hip, where would you go next?
Well, we're discussing the issues with 188,
Okay.
but it is. Yeah, it has more than one poor condition rating.
Okay.
It's chewed up.
That's fine.
Heavily rusted. 255 is a little one. This 123 over here is on a paved road.
Okay.
It's one of them that the Historical Society is aware of, but it's not as rare of a structure type.
Okay.
But it is.
That's on the fairly, the little blacktop.
Oh,
cutting
yeah,
in.
Thornberry
Yep.
comes down.
Okay. Is that road we want trail?
I don't know, we talked about back when we replaced the one up, wherever that 265 was.
Yeah.
Which one of those was the new, and we decided the 265 was more important than the 123.
Right, so we got the top three, the worst top three. What's number 4?
Well, that one didn't have didn't have a poor condition rating. So if we're going by the poor condition ratings, well, then there, did the trusted, we just got 5 of them. They got 3 and then 220 and
The bridge.
57. But so the LDIP program has a lot more possibilities, and I didn't mark all of those, because you probably have 30, 40 that are possibilities,
Okay,
but
okay.
So out of the bridges that we're talking about, these 6 bridges. Are all of them superstructure issues, or are they superstructure and abutment problems and?
yeah, so the 2 trusses we're talking about here, those are abutment problems, the channel banks,
Okay.
or vertical and back under the.
So when I hear that, right?
Yeah.
Some of those things we should be able to address, right? I mean, if we've got an abutment that's washing now. Through riprap or through protective measures, can't we go in and mitigate some of those problems? As a county, I mean, our county crews?
Potentially, if they were smaller and more isolated issues, I don't know what your capabilities are as far as, but these ones I'm thinking of, ideally you get your abutments back from the edge of the channel, and the channel has just widened and or migrated to where it's over.
Right.
Underneath the abutment.
Which to me can be resolved through riprap upstream, right?
Trying to push
Sure.
the channel back over, you're fighting nature, and
I don't
you know, maybe it's a 20-some foot hot bank, and so. Several $100,000 worth of rock and stuff.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that it can always be done, but I've been on projects where they were repairing,
Yeah,
through riprap.
so like 114 here is a box. That has a poor condition. But it's because of scour. The box floor is perched, and the water shoots out, the channel has a little down. 6+ feet below the floor box down.
Okay.
And so those are ones that the county has in the past. You pile a bunch of rock and concrete, route it in, or drive sheet piling out from the toe a little bit, fill all that in with concrete, put some rock in there. So that, in my mind, it's.
And when I ask these questions, it's not that I'm trying to say, okay, we're gonna fix the bridge.
Yeah.
And I also would like to be able to prolong,
Mhm.
have that bridge in a few more years while we get our budget together or whatever.
Yeah.
But those are the kind of areas that are like, if they have scour, or if there are locations where the county, the road and bridge department could go out and help mitigate these problems, especially if we get a big rainstorm, prior to the storms.
Yeah, so with our report each year, we do give you a maintenance recommendation
Okay.
report that has certainly the things that are easier for county forces to address.
So tell me, in the past, when we would get those, do you know if that would get passed on and those guys would go attack those on that list, or?
They usually bring you 5 or 6 copies.
Right.
I guess they've got this one here, have some of the maintenance recommendations in the back.
No.
Okay, so the commissioners need to make sure that that happens in the future. Because obviously that's good. That's, proper housekeeping, right?
Yeah, there's certain things you can do.
So if we determine, Brady, we look and we take, say we take a commission bridge tour and make a decision that we want to do X, Y, and Z, how many of these should we apply for?
Typically, I'm applying for one on each program.
One on each.
You can put in however many you want, and you can, indicate to KDOT those go out to their priority on these programs. Second, obviously, you're not gonna get more than one funded. Like I say, I usually put in one bridge on each program for folks. Kind of your best candidate that is something you want to, have a project and do something with.
You
balancing-
mentioned that you assist with this. So what does that look like?
Help with developing a, concept for like, what's the replacement bridge type size gonna look like, and a cost estimate for it. And the application is a spreadsheet that's like 2 pages. You write it, you put the bridge info in, you write a brief description of these are the problems. This is the proposed, bridge type, and you get the project built.
So what is the budget to do something?
Yeah, so, depends on, these little single span steel, stringer bridges. This one was more expensive, than we anticipated, I think with those big power lines along there, made contractor, we didn't get as many bids as we were hoping, and contractors nervous about that, but, 400,000 for a little,
No, yeah, I'm not talking about replacing, I'm talking about you.
our design
Yeah,
costs,
You
yeah,
guys don't work for free.
absolutely.
So when, and I like the fact that, you're there to assist us, but I'm trying to figure out what does it cost for us to drop one of these grants with your assistance?
If you get a project. design-
If we wanted to apply for these grants, say 1 or 2 of them, and you're assisting. what
So
does
I
it
usually
cost
don't-
PG?
I usually don't charge anybody, help them put the applications together.
That's kind of unheard of these days, isn't it?
I don't know if it's unheard of,
I used to.
but it's my approach in that trying to set up a contract for $1,000 or $2,000.
Yeah.
It's getting familiar with you guys, your inventory, the projects you're applying for. But where I make my money is I need to keep my design staff busy, my inspectors busy. I need the contract work for them to do.
Sure.
So
So if you help us apply, and we get lucky enough, we get one of these, it comes to you from the back.
that's the hope.
Okay.
I can say
Okay.
I've sat in front of commissions and said, nope, you helped us, you spent 15 hours coming up and looking at and helping us apply and all this, and we're gonna ask for proposals from 5 different consultants, and that guy was $2,000 less than you, and we got the job, and that's
I understand.
frustrating. But
So I think if I'm
They're
reading,
not-
the other commissioner's mind, we're gonna figure out which ones, and then we're gonna ask for some assistance, and we can apply for it. Is that correct?
I think so. I'd like to look at it, put my eyes, maybe we could do it with the picture. But if, I would work better if I actually saw it out and just make our 1 and 2. Because we need to do one for the first program and one for the second. KLBIP and the other one is for the.
yeah, the off-system program is
Off-system.
limited to these 5, one of them that has poor condition. And that's up to $2 million available on that program. Honestly, these bigger bridges like the trusses on 57 and 220, maybe $1.5 million bridge, to put a 3-span bridge in there instead of that 1 span that the channel is, vertical right at the abutments. We put a 3-span bridge in, get those abutments back, lay your banks back, armor it. But it might be a $1.5 million bridge, and so
But it would be funded entirely by the state, right?
the construction and construction inspection, and so then
We would be paying for it.
the design.
Which is approximately a percentage of the bridge.
Yeah. A lot of times people think in terms of like 10% of construction costs, but we're typically a little under that.
But 10%,
or something, but so yeah.
10% would be a real number, though. We always
Yeah.
hope for less.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
By the time you want to be in, have to buy some right away, getting a geotechnical exploration on.
Okay. What's our timeline?
These are due February
February
20th,
20th.
so 2 weeks from this Friday, so.
So if we had a bridge in mind right now, you said, let's move on this bridge, how long does it take for you to do what you do?
Oh, a couple hours worth
Oh,
put together. The concept, yes, and also maps, look at the drainage area, topography, pictures. Say, I think it's gonna be 160-foot bridge, and we put a dollar cost to it, and about as simple as what I told you there, kind of it, for $9.5, so we had 100K for preliminary engineering, 150K for the inspection. Be asking for 6.5 from KDOT.
You sound like an electrical contractor.
I understand preliminary engineering, what's inspection?
So while the project is under construction, there is on-site inspection, materials testing, construction, contract administration, handling the quantity payouts, change orders,
Okay.
But you don't accept or reject, do you?
except for reject.
As in that,
Construction,
in that position, do you accept or reject? Are you quality control or are you more project manager?
documentation, documenting and testing the materials that are used
Okay.
in the construction. Documenting that, I guess rejecting something would be the contractors. If it's one of these off-system project, the contractors contracted with KDOT. And so kind of their final call on like the KLVIP, like this number 51 down here, it'll be let. We have in our contract to assist you guys with advertising, bidding, and then the contract administration and stuff. The contract with contractor with the county. All
Okay.
on there. That's all recommendation of the engineer.
So I heard, I'm asked for clarification, because $1.5 million bridge, that would be the construction cost, which the state would fund. There was some engineering costs, which we were saying 10%, which would be $150,000.
Yeah, probably more like $100,000 on it.
But then I heard inspection costs. Is that
Yeah.
over and above too? Is
That is part of what KDOT pays for, construction and inspection. On both.
Okay, okay, well, I'm asking because I just needed
Mhm.
clarification. Thank you.
Nope, this is all new to you guys. And so that's what I'm
All right, so the only thing we're on the hook for is the engineering cost. And that particular.
The KLVIP program was 90-10.
Right.
So you have 10% of.
In construction cost.
Yeah, yeah, ancillary.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay,
Utilities.
so you said a couple hours, but we need to get on the ball if we feel like applying for one.
Well, I think you've already kind of isolated a couple bridges that are not as,
It's my opinion, yeah.
it's obviously if we have bridges that are on better roads that are more well traveled, those are the ones we're probably be looking at a little closer.
I agree.
Right?
And that KLVIP program is open to a whole lot more construction. So if there's any that are like.
So I
particularly
hate
complicated,
it.
Yeah.
KLVIP.
That Kansas Local Bridge Improvement Program.
Okay.
So it's the one that is let by, we can locally let, the 90-10 split
Okay.
versus the more restricted one is 100%. Only there are 5 four condition bridges that are eligible for that.
Okay.
And if you apply for both and both made the cut, so to speak, KDOT will call you and say, we're not gonna give you a bridge on both programs, which one would you rather have? Right.
So there's the discretion is obviously.
Yeah, if both of your applicants make the cut. But
Is 57, the crooked bridge there, looks like it's crooked on the over Lost Shirt. Is that right? Or is that really
with Royce, yeah,
Rose Creek?
This
Okay.
is it right here.
it's same kind of bridge as 220 down there.
So is that a gravel road there?
It is, and it's actually about 3/4 mile south of that timber one he was talking about with the post tensioning rods that came out
Yeah.
on Redbud. It is not. We had to come back to get a couple of these bridges this last fall when we did.
Because it's on the, it's on the,
Yeah.
uh,
But it's a chip and seal road, isn't it? Not.
it's on Redbud. I believe Redbud Road.
Yes. It was.
Okay. Red Bud Road is not a chip, that was just up there on the other bridge, that little bridge that has the tension rod problem.
Yeah, it's right off of the chip seal road.
Right.
But yeah, you can see here how,
Sure.
you know, the piles are standing. They've driven some sheeting behind it at
Yeah.
some point, but it's continuing to spend. It's south of up.
But see, even then, when I see something like this, if you have access to riprap, we've got excavators, we've got the trucks and all that stuff. Some of this stuff could have been mitigated long, before, as it starts to wash out. and stuff.
A row of Sydney Fair. Concrete, dirt, and I know what dirt. is, but the-
No, it's, but if you can,
And I don't know if you'd have to get easements from owners to.
that's the problem,
Take out
is
fence.
getting down there. I understand it's not always easy, but that's the kind of thing I was looking for. As we work to replace some bridges, some other bridges that have similar problems to that, we can start getting in and doing more housekeeping to prevent it, because it doesn't fix the bridge, but it prolongs the problems.
Yeah, so it's two prongs, trying to prolong what you got,
Mhm.
try to utilize those.
My concern is when you come into this and, okay, 197 bridges. They're all. They've all been around for quite a while, and so the last thing we want is a large percentage of them coming to be a problem all within a couple of years.
Yeah, yeah, and I
Because
try to,
that's,
when I'm talking to commissions, get them to think in terms of, if a bridge has a 50-year service life and you've got 200 in the county, you'd be replacing for 1 year to stay on.
which is almost impossible.
But yeah, there's bridges that are close to 100 years, so
Something,
still in service.
could you find 114? And we just looking on this, is the closest to. This 54 is, that's right there on 170th. Right there on the east side of 73 Highway, that's on the road to my house. Familiar with that one, but this is 114.
14, yes, that's the floor of the box,
Mhm.
looking and west downstream, and on that rod, that's the 6-foot mark right there.
That's the drop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the concrete is deteriorated down there too, you can see rebar hanging out there. All cracked. But that's something that could shore up that scour, we call it, off the demonstrating. Service for the longer years.
Wouldn't that be great? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so I've got all this data in a big spreadsheet in my computer,
Uh-huh.
and I can sort by, there's 200 columns, I can sort by load posting if you want, or by width, but it's hard to present all the different variables ranked at once, if that makes sense.
Do you have bridges and traffic counts? Do you have that metric together? in any
So
way?
the traffic count is a column here, they
Or
are,
bridge? Oh, it is, okay. There you go.
I would say they're probably fairly aged, and I don't know how often can update those, it's probably
Okay,
estimates. Even that what's an OS? The major collectors, good silvers and stuff,
Mhm.
happen more often.
okay.
But yeah, they can get you an idea there. A lot of these, 57 and 220 are probably so in people with age.
So then the numbers, the bridge numbers you have listed in this OS pair, are those the best ones that would to qualify for the grant? Are those the only ones we should?
Those are for the off-system program, you only have those 5 options.
Okay, that's
Which ones?
all right. So then we need to pick our favorite out of that one.
For that program, yeah, and KLVIP, the locally led 9010 program is open to a lot more. If you got something that's load posted, it's,
Okay,
that's kind of the one that's often a major interest point for commissioners and
and so you can find
decisions.
some low posted bridges on Baby Road or highway traffic.
Yeah, I could sort by those 2 items and send you a list. But then it comes down to if they are, if you remember those condition ratings we talked about,
Right.
a 5 or a 6. Well, certainly a 6 or a 7, not going to do very well.
Right.
Maybe if it's 5s across the board, and you can make the case that it's about to tip into 4 and it's functionally, you know, hindering the not serving purpose. We need to
Okay.
do. That was, I think, remember based on when we applied to 51, if it was an important issue or not, but we made the case that it gets a lot of traffic, it's narrow. You know, there's all the green out of the elevator, how happening, there's truck in and out, taking that rail.
And that was 51. I would think.
When you guys are doing your reports and you're looking at superstructure and you're looking at abutments and wing walls and all that stuff.
Mhm.
You take into account the condition of the road at the approach of the bridge, meaning if the elevation is changed so much where you're hitting that bridge harder than you should be, is that going to anything?
There's not a condition rating where we score that, but we'll comment on, you know, on unpaved road, it's not.
Yeah, for instance,
Common to have washouts.
we have a bridge, east of the landfill,
Yeah.
and if you hit that bridge,
You know, you need some air.
because we've raised the chip and seal or whatever, you've raised the approach up to where you're not hitting it
It's
level.
above the bridge deck.
You're-
so you're
You're
dropping
slamming
onto
it pretty good. When
Yeah.
I see that, I think, yeah, but that's something we gotta take care of.
Yeah.
Go in there and do a grind,
Mhm.
redo that approach, because to me, that's just, with that kinetic energy hitting that bridge hard like
It
that.
adds shock load.
We're
for
not
sure.
doing any help to it.
Design standards, current design standards, you would include impact loading, you know, provision for it, but
Were they back in the day when that bridge was put in there? Were they using impact?
I don't know when that started.
Cause I can remember being on projects where that started becoming a big problem. They'd run like a profilograph along the road in front of it and determine if it was acceptable, or not make the road contractor redo the road. So,
Yeah, you know, it still has big smooth
What-
requirements.
Would it be fair then to ask you to give us a few more choices on the KLVIP scenario? And if we narrow that down and say we want a well-traveled gravel road or even an asphalt road, chip road, chip seal. Is that fair to ask them?
Absolutely.
Okay, okay, then let us know, and I'd hate to get a grant, I mean, we would do it, but I hate to get a grant for a mud bridge. It'd be nice to do it on something that people are actually using all year round.
Yeah.
Well, just more use.
Yeah.
The neat thing about us is there isn't a politician sitting behind this desk, so we want, if they all go to this part of the county, because that's where the need is, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not too concerned about pulling some down here up to the side. Not trying to make them mad, we're just trying to do the best by the people in the county, so.
Well, we're also looking at one budget. We
Yeah.
can look at it as District 1 has less money or more money.
Is that a
County.
change? Has it in the past been?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a change.
So that's why I did have it, blocked out, so you can see
And that's fine.
which ones,
That's fine.
which district was I understood that we had the budget for the district, so
We're trying
that's-
some
I
different
would say
stuff.
that that's, I don't see that with other counties, so.
Okay, well, we can make I would think we can make a decision on the first one fairly short. I mean, do we want to look or do we want to do it
No.
with it?
I think I'm good. My problem is, you know, Nikki doesn't have time to go out and go on a field trip. So. I know you would, I'm just trying to, if we can do something based off of what we already know and not have to waste her time she has to be out there for comments.
Yeah. Those are.
Okay.
Good stuff, so.
Okay, then, that's wonderful. I'll look forward, or we'll maybe send Tammy an email with
Yep.
your suggestions for that second program, and we'll roll it on.
Brady, you know, where do you, what office do you come out of? Is it now?
Manhattan, yep, so I head our bridge services, so as you see, we do bridge inspections, also repairs, rehabs, you know, as your bridges on paved roads, start to deteriorate and that. Where the deck might need patched or overlaid, or you talk about rough approaches, you know, putting approach slabs on bridges, things like that, then damage repairs where overheight loads and overweight loads have hit and damaged structures.
You never see that.
No, contractors are super conscientious. And then replacements. So all of our bridge work we do out of our Manhattan office. I've got 3 design engineers working for me. But DG has, we try to be able to do anything that a city or county, you know, architecture, surveying, engineering wise might need. So do a lot of water, wastewater, environmental systems for cities, transportation stuff. We have mechanical, electrical plumbing engineers, so, and architects.
The reason I was asking is so as we are getting more involved with these bridges and looking at stuff, I didn't know if you were somewhere that it's gonna take you an hour and 45 minutes if we needed you to look at something. You don't want to.
Spot on. You got.
We don't want to waste our time. I just,
But
my
I-
son graduated from K-State, so I know exactly.
You know.
what it takes to get that.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't mind coming out or, making a plan to come out and look at something.
We also have the alternative bridge technology.
Yeah, I heard you make reference to,
Yeah, I was wondering, I've got your contact,
Mhm.
but maybe we set up a conversation. So,
yeah, I'd be happy to listen in or provide some insight.
Okay.
Yeah, we have offices in Manhattan, Lawrence, and Emporia, and we just opened one in North Casey, Smithville, Missouri.
Well, you know, Hiawatha has a really good tax rebate, so next time you guys need to open an office, we can.
Satellite right here. Yeah.
Well, that's all about, finding somebody that wants to open and run that thing.
Okay. All right. We appreciate your time, the info.
Yeah.
And we look forward to hearing from you fairly soon on the other.
Yeah,
bridges.
I'll get you maybe a couple lists.
Okay.
Differently, and you guys can see what, for you.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ken. You got more for us?
Tammy, do you know, since you're with Road and Bridge? County used to have a road and bridge department. I'm sorry, the county used to actually work on bridges through their road and
We had a
bridge.
bridge.
Yeah. When did that go?
You look that up, 96. For some reason, can't go online.
What goes through my mind with this is a lot of this is housekeeping. Okay? And we focus a lot on our roads, which is good. We need to be focusing on the roads. But if, without that bridge department that we used to have, it used to actually go pour abutments, and I can remember in the 80s, they were actually setting up and doing their own wing walls and abutments and all that. And so our problem is not going away. If we don't get back to where we're doing good housekeeping on these, basically the riprap and protecting the wing walls and protecting the abutments, we're gonna just have more and more of that in the future. Well, my fear is that we've kind of gone away from that. I could be wrong. But
This thing is what,
2009.
Oh.
So I have a feeling if we were to talk to Road and Bridge, they'd say, yeah, we don't usually do that. And that's because that's how it was set up. It's almost like we need to get back to some of this housekeeping in-house, if that makes sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense.
That's pretty common. You don't want me
No, we want you.
losing that expertise. They have a hard time keeping some, the equipment operator, the people that have expertise in forming and documentation. Or losing the contract. Yeah, so there's a lot less counties now compared to 10 years ago that have training, drive their own line and let them build the range. So I was to say, you're not reading in the trouble there. Well, deterioration.
I almost think that part of it too is I saw, specs on everything have changed so much over the years to where what we used to be able to do, whether it be bridges or electrical or whatever, versus what's required now. Everything's gotten more massive, larger abutments, all that kind of stuff. It's grown to where it kind of exceeds what local departments can do with their equipment and all that, so that's a part of it.
Bigger loads,
Bigger piles, all that stuff. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Do you guys need these files? You don't get a label just.
I think if you can just leave them in your office where if we were to run out there. You know where they're at, that's all I'm getting at. We need them. Don't file them away to where you gotta move a bunch of stuff. How's that?
I'm questioning. And we do this with those five. We're reading them and stuff. Inspection of each and every group. For this first permit.
Are you familiar with these bridges?
No, not
That-
the ones
I would say that
We need to do on site
I think we need to do an onsite then, Steve, and just try to keep it to a.
on the first 6 bridges then. Now, can we,
So I will say that the OS 123 has the most daily traffic, average daily traffic.
that's on the back. South.
Okay, we talked about that when we did the 265 one. And it's 20 foot, not wide enough, and it's kind of. People don't really want it closed too bad because they use it a lot. I mean, it's gonna take a long time to fix it. It's kind of a unique bridge that has concrete side rails on it, and it's kind of. Unique. To me, it's not that high priority.
Is that the road to the fidelity? The place they don't.
Yeah, that's pretty early. Yep, yep.
So is that a major run there in the south of Fairview to hook up with the highway?
It used to be a little highway.
Okay. Was it? My question was, if you got two parallel roads right there, but it's a bridge, but that's the only one.
It's a long bridge too.
Yeah, it's a real,
110.
real big long bridge.
Okay, so then we need to, the bottom line is we need to make a run.
I would feel more comfortable just putting our eyes on it, even if we say we give each bridge 10 minutes in the road. We need to kind of look at it.
I think it would be, I don't know.
Well, it gives you an idea also of the roads and the number of people that are using it more than. I can look at that and look at the problems, but I can't visualize the farms that are nearby and the number of people that are using it. That's the reason I want to go out.
I guess one comment on that bridge was the people that live right there, he was a trucker and kind of like to be able to get out there and you don't want it closed too much. So.
Well, that we can't do much about, because if we're gonna fix it, we're gonna have to close it. So,
Right, but one front there, it's the, probably another bridge in town. It's one foot.
okay, we'll take a look. All right,
Some of these locations, I mean, you guys familiar with the shoe fly? I mean, if it came right down,
Right.
we had to build a bridge.
Been pretty cheap, right?
And even if we had to temporarily use a farm, get an easement grant and put gravel down, we could.
And if he's temporarily inconvenienced, he's gonna have a brand new bridge, so.
yeah, I'm with you.
We'll just have you
Kill
talk
them.
to farmers. How's that?
I got the mic right there too. When we, does the county, when it comes, I know the easement for the road, but at a bridge, does the easement stay the same or does it change? Or does it?
It depends on what we're gonna replace it.
Okay,
And that comes down to if the bridge we're replacing is gonna be replaced a little wider than it currently is.
Right,
okay.
because so many of them, they are making them wider than they used to.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
So you're talking two things, a construction easement for construction and permanent easement.
Right.
Right.
Cause that's what we have on that FAS 51 was we had a north temporary easement and a north permanent easement and a south permanent.
Okay. So we need to schedule. Is that something you'd like to come along to? As our road and bridge? Secretary?
As long as I don't have to crawl down in them.
Bring a bridge.
So what's everybody's time?
The sooner the better.
Yeah, because it's due February 20th.
So it's one of the next 3 days, so our mud road. We may have some access issues, but the weather will be nice if we get stuck.
If you, in the next 3 days, is there a particular day that works better for you? Well, we can forego the work session if we're gonna do this, so, I mean, this is the precedence.
So I thought we had.
Yeah, we've got some decent weather, a little stretch of decent weather. But like he says, I mean, decent weather, these mighty roads too.
Maybe
I've got a truck that can haul 6 people as long as you don't mind sitting next to me.
So we can choose it. Okay, all right, so we want to schedule a bridge trip in lieu of our, that will just call one, with the work session there. That sound fair? So that means Thursday at 1 o'clock, we'll meet here. And the 5 of us will take in the trip. Okay. And if something changes, somebody will let us know again. Sound good?
Sounds
All
good.
right, so we'll wear our, we're gonna have, I mean, if they truly inspect this thing, we're gonna get down in the mud. You know, soon we get in the water.
Yeah, and again, we've got good pictures of what's going on with the wing walls and all that stuff. This, for me, this gives me a good feeling of the roads, who lives nearby, how much travel it is, that helps me make that decision, how wide.
All right, fair
A
enough.
lot of it can be done from up above. They've got some great pictures and explanations of what's going on. Yes, I will.
Yeah, cause they actually get down in the water when they're doing inspections
What?
and take pictures of your need.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Honey, for reading those.
Huh?
For reading.
Nice, thank you.
Shoot. Right, you don't got 126 in there, do you?
No,
We could actually.
I might come look at it after a while.
it's 126.
Yeah, we
It's-
sent that.
it's got some- I think it's on Foxville, and it's just south of 36.
This is one of those things.
Oh, yeah.
It's got some more issues, but I think riprap might fix that too.
I'll do that after the meeting. That'd be fun.
Okay, we have the capability anywhere in the courthouse to build something like that size.
Thank you very much.
What?
We have the capability anywhere in the courthouse to take that road up to like a new fence size.
Yeah, the registered deeds office can do it.
And we need that for in here possibly. Or if you take
Yeah.
this. I'm just looking at fence and rolling them up, and that's a great map, and so if you get a larger side, and just one of them up.
Yeah.
And you're gonna charge us for that.
Not if I ask real nice.
You got away with people. Thank you.
Bad.
Yeah, do you have waiters?
Yes.
Okay, good, bring your waiters for the.
Well, they don't have my meeting, but I have my.
Maybe if I stop by, you have.
Is there anything else that we have in front of us? We had such a
Yeah.
short agenda.
I think we've already discussed some of the things that. Yeah, he's talking about the one with the tension rod problems.
Was that on Redbud?
It's right off Red Bud, and is it 330th maybe? Does that sound right?
There's nothing on.
310th and Red Bud. Number 56.
Well, that's what I was, this. That one. Yes.
And the email pictures of the domain.
To your question, when you were asking about, these alternative methods, and some of them are too, so why can't we go to?
Okay.
All is dictated.
No, that's all right.
Whether or not the amount of water that is potential. Because you're right, some of these locations that, and if you remember, out of the 3 alternative methods that they had, one of them was basically like a modified 2.
Uh-huh.
And so the question would be, how big can we get that modified 2?
So in one of that is core technology. It's basically like a 4 in place, quick set. Two. So that was the other thing that I when I started to see it, I sort of thought it wasn't all bad, because it not only provides a bridge, it also provides a whole purpose stable. Which have the functionality. I'm gonna try to look at the bridge.
Okay.
I have a signed point in one. I have also sent a draft form. Copy. Richard, to the sheriff's office. Okay. And I have also, sent over a, email request that you can pull on to the doctor.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
So I think I'm caught up, like anything else that you guys need to do, great.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of what it is.
So we need to clean up some of these things as you're doing right now, obviously. So the next thing on my list would be just so you can kind of have an idea. Obviously, continue with Anvil, but are pushing forward the dispatching agreement with the city. What that looks like, what the next step is with that.
Yeah, and I think that's something that now we've got a template MOU that we put together that I'm still waiting for the MOU back from the council for the. We've got a template MOU back, and I think, we've got a template MOU now, it's very broad. Like I tried to leave it as broad as possible, okay, but I think the next step would be city, okay, and maybe we schedule it, maybe in the meantime, okay. Maybe we'll have lunch, somebody at like the meeting. And I'm available if there's somebody on the city.
So why don't you do this? If you could look at your calendar and give me a few days that would work for you, let's say like 2 days that are gonna work for you, because I can work around your schedule and then I'll be, if you don't mind, I'll try to set that up.
I think the best day would be February 16th. February 16th. Yep. What day is that? That's one day. Oh, wait, no, actually, let's do it on February 16th, that's February 15th. We're not meeting today. Yeah, so instead of doing it on Tuesday, let's do it the following Monday, February 3rd.
Yeah, I'll try to get that set up.
Yeah, that'll be out the, I'm gonna put it in, I want that.
All right.
All right. We're knocking stuff off the list.
No.
One goes away.
There's plenty more to add.
Yes, there is. We got, you know what, I'm really, I'll just say this, that we're being. But, everybody really, this experience on the private side, and now government, but we're moving pretty good. We're moving pretty quick for government. Not that we're not even moving slow for private. We're doing okay. I mean, we're not as fast as we would be if we were operating at the place.
That is true. That is true. But the work session and what he's doing and what you're doing and what I'm doing, I guess off hours, we'll keep it thick flow. So I think we're going. We have our first coffee with commissioners is next week on the 12th at 5:30 in the afternoon, just so you're aware. We're gonna do something at the Burning Barn.
Just Thursday evening, 5:30 at the Burning.
Yep. Well, just so you're aware.
If you need anything that comes up, call me.
It's, I think it's gonna be pretty low key. I just wanted to make sure, so you know what we're doing.
I'm glad about it. If I wasn't out of town for work, I would.
I did, Kendra told me to put a little video online. She went for Facebook and she
Great.
latched in everybody's. Hopefully we get a good turn.
This is good.
I figured if we set Tammy and Nikki in front of us, like here, we sit behind. That way, when they start throwing things, because they're not gonna want to throw something, Nikki, they like her.
This is true. This is true.
I'm not expecting anyone to throw anything, so let's not,
Encourage them.
yeah, no, it'll be fine. Actually, we're looking forward to it. 'Cause I think there's quite a few questions. And I think we can clear some things up. I'm glad that you think.
So Nikki, it looks like we got information back on that we have with a lot. So you're not so we're there. With that, I'm still available by phone, but I may still try to go drive over by this bridge. On my way out.
This is the bridge on Red Bud, this
Yeah.
Bridge 56. Okay,
Yep.
sounds like that's a dirt road.
There's Creek in the red bud, right?
Yeah.
And it's literally right off of the road, so we can see it from the pavement.
Okay,
That's
wonderful,
not bad.
wonderful,
Where you
wonderful.
think the red bud?
Wonderful. If you get stuck, you can call me. The chief.
That'd be good. Won't be the first time.
All right.
Pull something out.
So I'm gonna switch gears again. We've talked about a lot of stuff. Is there anything else to come before the commission? Anything else we need to talk about either here or do we need to have an executive session about any? Were we clear? I mean, we did everything on my list. I have a check mark by the emergency management. For some reason, are we gonna come up with a job description or is that on the to-do list?
So originally, we were gonna contact the one individual and have him come in give us an outline of what he believes the job is. Obviously, Austin mentioned the person that we can rely on for that as well. Now that we're moving our Thursday meeting, that's gonna be delayed a little bit.
Okay,
But I could also contact him and have him write some things down. And I could bring it to the commission if that works.
okay. That's fine.
I can also piggyback on that from this other person. I think it's great that we have somebody locally that can present either potentially on a part-time basis. And maybe I can get some consulting support from the other individual, accounting over that could give us some definition of what he would expect, and then also some potential grant support for the position on how they might be able to help with that. So I'll make that phone call this afternoon and then see what things rock and roll.
Okay, okay, and do we need a motion to make the bridge road trip, or is that just fine with the?
I
Okay,
think
well,
it's a good idea.
I make a motion that we, the three commissioners, the county clerk and Tammy, the road and bridge secretary. Thank you. We'll make I guess a bridge inspection road trip. Like we're gonna turn Thursday and we're leaving one. Is there a second?
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Right.
Okay, motion carried. And I had one comment about the bridges and so we've talked, I really want to use this alternative bridge technology. I think there's a place for it. So I guess I would just say, I don't want to spend grant funds or opportunities on dirt road bridges unless it's absolutely necessary. And that's where I think we should target the alternative technology.
Yeah, I completely agree with that because also some of those smaller bridges are perfect or they lend themselves much more to
Yeah.
those style bridges. So,
I want to hit bridges that people are driving over.
Sure. yeah, and the alternative method is not designed, let's say, for those longer span bridges anyway, so
Right.
they fit.
The opportunity for
with these.
savings
Yeah.
are less as the bridges get bigger, so.
I mean, and the only thing I'll add on to that is we need to, as we move forward with road and bridge, we need to kind of get back to where part of the maintenance of road and bridge is doing some of these things that we can do with our equipment. We have excavators, we have backhoes.
So, and
So
you found,
prevent, I guess I would list it as preventative maintenance.
what you found that, I mean, just by asking that the inspection that we are currently doing, it's not, we need to get that in the hands of the people. who are
Correct.
actually,
Correct.
fix it. So we'll make
So-
that happen. You know, we find things out like that every now.
Yep,
So one of the main troubles with bridges is that channels are getting too deep
yes,
and then they block it, putting stuff in there.
Now, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a problem
That's-
all over the state though, where the channels are getting deeper and deeper. So,
Okay. Is there anything else coming for the commission then before we adjourn? Yes.
Find out.
I guess what we have to do with that is can we put it on? I mean, it's another one of those things that if we don't just put it on the agenda and address it, it just keeps getting pushed back, I'm afraid.
And with
I know.
you have something I can.
We need two candidates.
Right.
To replace.
Yes, and
Is there any certain?
I'm having trouble finding people that want to do it. It's
Are
been
they
a
in
problem.
territory? Are they?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't found anybody that wants to do it yet. And so unfortunately,
Well, would you like some help making some phone calls?
well, I think, honestly, we have two people that are up. The one person I believe is still interested. You know, from what they've said. The other person said if we could find somebody, he would like us to replace him. So.
he was in the District 3. No, not District 3, District 2.
Easy.
Yeah, he is. Okay, well, and then actually I simply can bring up that topic, even if we don't have it filled.
So we don't need, they want to be stay on there, there's nothing wrong with keep them on there.
Right, I understand. It's just when somebody voices that they'd like us to find somebody, then
Yeah.
we, I appreciate that these people step up and do this, but we don't want people in there that aren't. truly
Right,
happy.
in that situation, yeah,
Yeah.
find somebody else.
Okay.
That's. Let me find her. Reports in the folder. If you have a question, you can contact.
Okay. All right. Now, each report takes on just a little different appearance. Some people do their reporting just, yeah, and you can, anyway.
Okay.
Then I will. And resolution on that fact that. When I was represented. So. Might not, I don't know.
Are you guys familiar with the burn permit process?
Yeah. I mean, the new one, yes.
Okay.
That it?
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, there you go. We got that. I'm just gonna look here again at the list and everything. I think everything. Did we need to make a motion to allow the services for the elderly secretary or to make the call for closing? No, that's still fine. Okay. I didn't have a check mark by that. And Dallas, did you have an update for me on the digitization of those NRP exhibits? Are they in process?
It's in process, the others are completely failed, so.
Right. Okay, okay. So when I think of it, Dallas, I'm just gonna ask, just kind of, just keep it up front, but no, you know, just in process is fine with me. Because there's quite a few documents there. And was the type, it just won't read a typewriter, is that the problem?
Right, yeah, and some of it a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Doing this, I can't after.
You will, you'll just keep us informed then, okay? And do you have maybe a possible time you think it'd be done? Do you have a goal you're working towards?
I would like that.
Okay, okay, all right. Sounds good. Thank you. All right, well, if there's nothing else come before the commission, then I guess I would make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. We're adjourned. See you Thursday. 1 o'clock. Right here.
Thank you.